Welcome, everybody. Today I have to tell you, I changed everything I was going to speak about. I will speak about it later, but a magic thing happened today. I was on the boardwalk, and a young woman came up to me and she said, "Hetty, do you remember me? You used to give me art classes when I was a child." And I said, "That was in Oceanside, and that was a lot of years ago. You'll have to tell me more, because you definitely don't look like a child now." And she said, "My name is Robin, and I met you on the boardwalk just a few days ago with my husband, Jeff, and told you." And I said, "I know, but I meet so many people, and I couldn't place you. But now you've got the time. Tell me a little more." And she said, "I wanted to thank you because I went into art, a different kind of art. I paint on tables, I design jewelry, and I paint on glass, and I'm able to sell my work." And I was so proud of her, and I felt so happy. But suddenly I recognized her, and that's the magic I wanted to speak to you about. She had the same enthusiasm that I remember in a little girl. I didn't remember the name. I didn't remember that she was an elegant-looking young woman who was a child, because her facial expression and the joy coming out of her made me realize when we really feel that a personality fits us, it doesn't leave us. I recognized in this face of a young woman the enthusiasm that had me love her when she was a little girl. And it is something to think about that, my friend Linda, right here, with the tennis racket. I've told you this story before, but I'll keep on telling it because it so hugely affected my life, that we both decided how we greet a person when we meet them is how they will react to us. My husband Eric used to say, "If you're afraid of a dog, that dog will bite you." And if you use that idea when you meet somebody and you don't look upon them as an enemy, and you just see, here's a new person in my life, they react to you with, here's a new person in my life. And I would like to bring that up because what I originally was going to speak about today was I, who was a refugee during Hitler time, and there was no place for us to go in the world to escape. America wouldn't let us in. No country would let us in, but Panama did. And through the Facebook, I'm in touch with a way off relative, Jose, from Panama, and he tells me of the people who still save refugees. And I would like my country, with the millions of acres of empty land and torn down buildings, to realize that everyone here was originally an immigrant, and that the whole world is changing. We now have droughts. There always were droughts, but it seems as if nature is saying to us over and over, we need people to build. We need people to till the land. We need workers. The burst workers are people who are fleeing. There must be somebody in my country who can put two and two together and say, people needing a home, empty land, where we need trees to be cut down, where we need land to be made into fruit. Nature is telling us the way we're dealing, we're hurting the land. We need labor. And I want to bring that up. Thank you. And I would like Kenny to take over because he wrote things down. We speak a lot. We speak every night. And he is the child of refugees. And what other Kennys and Hettys and your 4 parents, 4 fathers, 4 mothers are waiting without homes. Okay, Kenny.
So these are all things Hetty said, things that she said that I thought were so powerful that I thought that people would enjoy hearing them. So here's what she said. My brain, and this is all her. My brain used to just see and think of what I saw. Now, as I'm learning to decenter from only focusing on what I see, what I think, what I need, what I judge, I'm trying to enter into what others are maybe experiencing but not saying. And it's like a revelation. I was with a dear friend, and for the first time, I could see into his innocent hoping that he would be seen and recognized by the world. I looked at photos of my mother, and for the first time I could see her fear. Would she be able to manage? Excuse me 1 second. Well, let me help with that. Oh, you got it? It's a little. Yeah. I'll move the painting a little bit.
No, I'm going to paint now.
Oh, okay.
Because I promised people.
Whoops.
Thank you, darling. But I promised people that I would paint today.
Sure. Are you sure you want me to read this?
Oh, please.
Okay, sure. Sorry, folks.
I'll just prepare everything.
Things got moved.
I won't paint until you're done.
No, you can paint.
No, I'm preparing things.
Sure. Sorry, folks. Okay. I looked at photos of my mother, and for the first time, I could see her fear. Would she be able to manage? Would everyone be okay? I never had seen that fear before because I never knew how to step outside myself. It has taken me a long time. Then I thought of how Eric and I moved away with the grandkids. We had lived with my mother and father when our children were born and when they were babies. Even though my parents told me again and again how hard it was for them, even though they pleaded for us not to leave, I still was not able to put myself in their shoes, and we moved far upstate with their baby grandchildren, and they had no car, and they couldn't drive. And I couldn't see this from their eyes until 65 years later. And it was so hard for Eric. It was unbearably hard to see that much love in my family when he didn't have it, because they were all killed. When Eric proposed to me, he said, "I have no family to give you. They are all dead except one uncle." But he wasn't talking about how that would hurt me. He was talking about himself and how hard it was to have no family to celebrate life with. I thought he was telling me about what I would be missing. It wasn't until now that I realized he was talking about his own terrible loss. I used to go to the Met and look at the Rembrandts. I always loved looking at his amazing technique, but now I am training my brain to look at people with love, not to see them from my personal filters, but to see their heart. And it has changed me, and it has changed my work. I looked at a Rembrandt painting of a woman I had seen so many times before, but this time, when I looked at her in this new way, she actually spoke to me. And I realized I need to paint people in a way that I'm seeing who they are, not through technique, not through the filters of my likes and dislikes, but through my heart. And now my goal is to paint in a way that so that my subjects can actually speak to the people who are looking at them in my painting. And today I got a photo from someone I knew very well, but when I looked at the photo in this new way, I really saw in her who she is, and I was filled with so much love, and that had never happened before in that same way.
I didn't paint while you were doing this.
But you got all set up?
Yes.
Phyllis Cooper says that's so beautiful. And Marcia sends a heart. And Marcia Bard Isman says, Marcia Goldstein Graber sends a heart and says, "Hi, Eddie." Phyllis Cooper says that's so beautiful. And Marcia Bard Isman says, "You are so amazing, Eddie." And Robin Lisa has stars in her eyes. She's sending an emoji. Do you need water?
I have it right here, but it's good that you reminded me.
Robin Lisa says you are terrific.
You know, we are terrific. Humankind is so awesome. If you think of what we survived slavery, Holocaust, cancer, polio. We did not survive in permanent things. All those things are still here. But we have the will to fix things. And with the world not having learned that human beings have potential to save us from ourselves, and so we let them flee from country after country. I remember being on an airplane years ago, and the airplane was going over the desert and the mountains, and I thought of land was given for free to people who were willing to settle there. And that's how we built our cities, and our farms, and our universities. Somebody walked over this desert and these mountains, just like they're doing now, to reach a place that would allow them to stay. And it was given free if they cultivated it. What if we give free shelter to people who clean the streets, who build the barricades that we need against the rivers. What if we use the way early Americans were used, given shelter for work? And boy, do we need their work. How many bridges can't be fixed? How many goods cannot be transported? We have a labor shortage, and so many people who just ask for jobs. It's a better investment to teach somebody how to fish. You know that old saying. And I wanted to only speak about that until I met Robin today. And I couldn't think of a better way of explaining magic to you.
And I want to tell you that Tammy says, I love the photos you put on Facebook showing you street painting. And Hernan's parents, Hernan and Fran, are watching. And Robin Lisa's sending hearts and sending a kiss.
Hernan and Fran, the parents of my Hernan.
Yes.
You don't know what you did for me, because he's been photographing my family whenever we went out together. And I saw Jessie in photographs from this cute little kid becoming this beautiful young woman. Hernan photographed my family because we were close friends, and with that friendship gave me such a gift. Thank you, his parents, Hernan and Fran. And I met your daughter and really enjoyed knowing her. Not for long, because we live so far away from each other. Thank you all for existing. Now make it worthy to the universe that you exist. Use your brain. Mostly, I would like to speak to young people in grammar school, maybe in high school. Change the world. Don't insult the kid sitting next to you. You know, Sesame Street now has a Filipino child. It used to be only white kids.
No, I just have to differ there. Sesame Street was always good about diversity. Maybe not Asians, I don't know, but they were really good about diversity. I just have to say that about Sesame Street.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Do you want to read any comments?
There aren't many more comments yet, except that Lauren says she agrees with you that Hernan is a special person. And Phyllis says, thank you for sharing your experiences and thoughts for a better future. You are a great role model.
About that, I need to be honest. Anne Frank was hidden by a family and survived. And I always thought how wonderful that family was, but I didn't realize how wonderful. And I found out I am not as worthy as I should have been. I was, during the time of sketching in the subways, there was a woman standing there with a bag that people dropped money into. And I did too. And she had huge ulcerated legs, and she had a plastic bag next to her filled with medications and rags. instead of bandages. And I dropped some money into the bag, and then when I walked away, I turned around, and I saw a mean-looking man next to her, and he took the bag from her and took out the money. And I was about to call the police, and then I thought, the way I look, they wouldn't listen to me. I didn't look well-dressed because when I do sketching, I wear jeans. When people of my age did not. And I looked more like a hippie, which made me suspect. And it hit me. The only way I could save her is to take her home. But if I took her home, my brain said, Hetty, then you wouldn't have painting time anymore. And I thought to myself, is this who I am? And it is. And I'm asking my country and other countries to take in people. But those people are able to do what America used to do, give free land to people who were willing to plant and let it become fruitful. Any comments?
Yes. Eileen and Paula send you their love. And Ed Weidman sends you his love too. And Dory says there's going to be a TV miniseries about Anne Frank on Disney Plus soon. And she sent you the link, and maybe you would want to watch it on Sunday. Those are the comments so far.
You know, let us be an example to the world. We used to be. And suddenly, we take drugs so that we don't have to see the jobs we should do.
So Tammy said, thank you for humanizing refugees by telling your story. And Robin said it was okay that you did not take her home.
Okay. Kenny, would they like to watch me painting?
Sure,
now? Okay. How shall I put the canvas?
Oh, okay. Let's be careful that we don't protect this. Okay. Tell me how you would like the canvas. Where would you like it?
Whatever you turn, I'll paint in that corner.
You tell me.
How can you see?
It's all good. I'll make it work. Don't even worry.
Okay, then I'll go back to that little area here.
Okay, sure. Are you close enough? Is it close enough?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. I would like to speak about meeting people, and again, Tammy and Tracy over here. They have led me into seeing a world completely different from what I saw before. And I've been telling everybody what they said and what they did. Here they are. Tammy and Tracy. First of all, Greg is on the board of an organization in Long Beach, which is a crisis center. And he had asked me to come with him when Kenny couldn't go, Kenny was giving a class and to the board meeting. And there was a woman dressed in one of those Chinese jackets, you know, with these beautiful things on the side from clothing. And she just looked so good. And I said, where did you get that? It was done in gray. And it just looked beautiful. And she said, whenever I go someplace, I try to get something which is indicative of what they wear, of the country. And somehow the talk just went into different areas. And we became very close friends. And whoops, let me do something quickly. And all of you who are going to be painting with oil, better watch.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wear good clothes when you paint. I just somehow got yellow on here. It's gone. Always keep rags. I have these wonderful friends, Susan, who always gave me washed flannel rags, like pajamas and nightgowns and things like that, and I would cut them into little pieces and do what I'm watching you watch me do. Okay? And be aware of that as I do this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have fun. Anyway, what their idea was is that this is so much fun. See, when you do oil, as messy as it is, it allows you to go over and over and over and over and over and over. Okay? And every week you will see more done. And since Kenny said I'm nearly out of time, this is going to grow up to be a young man in Long Beach. And Kenny, could you show, is the drawing I did of him, James Hodge?
Of course.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I decided something. I hated working from photographs. Okay? I hated working from photographs. And made a deal with him that, like Ed Weidman, who years ago allowed me to draw him without limits. And it took me forever to do his portrait, just the face, because I had endless time and I was able to really concentrate on it. And it gave me such an itch to do that again. And so I asked James, I said, look, I'll put you into the painting, but I don't want any photographs from you. I want to be able to really do what I did with Eddie and really draw you. And here he is. He's going to be the person here. Okay, Kenny's going to show you the drawing. And then Kenny's going to show you where he will be in the painting. That's going to be him. Okay? And then next to it, there's another drawing. And the drawing is from the lady from the Historical Society, Carol Lee. And she's coming to be drawn tomorrow. Again, thank you, Eddie, for giving me the fever to only do real people and not photographs. And when she comes tomorrow, when I finish her drawing, she's going to decide where to be. And do we still have time for you to come here? Okay. This is going to be a sign saying the same as down here, 100-year celebration of Long Beach. So I think I will put her over here. And over here I will only put people whom I'm allowed to draw. And this is my wonderful friend Martha Bilski and her wonderful husband Mike. And this is going to be Kathy, who used to babysit for my grandchild. She's not done yet. Nobody's done yet. I'm going to bit by bit introduce you to people.
And we have some comments too.
Yes.
Tammy says, I cannot believe how many people fit into that painting. And Phyllis asks, how big is this canvas?
24 by 40 something, I think.
I think even bigger than that, maybe. And Ed says, thank you, Hetty. I was honored to be your subject.
Goodbye, all of you. I love you deeply.